While eating grilled corn, Richard suddenly spotted a business opportunity. He noticed his son getting burned by the spicy sauce on the corn but still eating it with obvious delight. That's when the light bulb went off. Why not make spicy chips too? Richard and his family bought tons of chili peppers and started experimenting like crazy. But their first attempts at making hot sauce just left the whole family gasping for air.
Hot, like elote hot? Good hot?
No, bad.
Oh my God.
While Richard was grinding away making hot sauce by hand, factories everywhere were turning to technology, mixing up artificial chili extracts. Sure, they packed twice the heat, but Richard believed that authentic, locally sourced ingredients combined with Mexican-style hot sauce was the purest form of flavor. To properly mix his seasonings, he even commandeered his hamster's exercise wheel. The family hit every corner of the city, sampling every type of chili they could find, until they finally created something that was both blazingly hot and absolutely delicious.
Ow, burn!
Burns good or burns bad?
It burned good.
Oh! Yeah!
Of course we did!
Richard had nailed the hot sauce formula, but the factory executives were too busy with layoffs to care about some janitor's bright idea. They actually mocked him, suggesting he should just call the CEO directly. So Richard did exactly that. He dug up the corporate headquarters number and called the CEO in Italy.
Thank you for taking my call. I have an idea that you need to hear.
I'm listening.
Okay, yes, sir. I'm Mexican. I'm proud of it. And there's a lot of us in this country, and we spend money on snacks just like everybody else. We eat Doritos, but not before covering them suckers with tapatio. It's like the more it burns, the more money we'll spend on it. So I thought, why don't I make my own spicy slurry?
You made your own spicy slurry?
Yeah, I did, and it's good. You can slather it on everything. Doritos, Fritos, popcorn, Cheetos. And the best part, sir, it is 100% Mexican approved. My family, my neighbors, they can't get enough. And I got a plan, Mr. Enrico, to get it to the streets, to get it to my people. I think it will save our factory. It will save jobs.
Save jobs, huh? That's a lot of confidence there, Richard.
Yes, sir. And you said in the video, think like a CEO. So I did.
You saw my video?
Yes, sir.
And you're a janitor.
Maintenance crew, sir. Look, if it's okay, I'd like to send you some samples, sir.
Richard, that's more than okay with me.
Richard actually managed to convince the CEO and got the address to mail samples. Richard and his wife lovingly packaged up a whole bunch of samples for Roger. When the CEO popped that first spicy Cheeto in his mouth, he literally couldn't stop eating. He was so excited he called Richard back without even wiping his hands, announcing he was flying to America to inspect the factory personally. Meanwhile, the factory executives were furious, hunting down whoever had gone over their heads to the CEO. When the plant manager discovered it was Richard, he publicly humiliated him in front of the entire company. He warned that if Roger didn't approve Richard's idea and noticed the factory's ongoing losses, he'd pull his investment entirely. That would mean the factory would shut down and everyone would lose their jobs. Richard started second-guessing himself big time. When he got home feeling defeated, his wife heard the whole story but still encouraged him, insisting he would succeed. The couple spent the night studying business terminology from books. On the day of Roger's inspection, Richard put on his best suit.
I'm so proud of you, Mel. And I'll always regret not being the man that made you the man you are today. Always. Ahora, chigatelos. You do good, Mel.
When Roger's car pulled up to the factory, the wheels of fate began turning. Richard's life was about to change forever. Roger was pressed for time, so he immediately called Richard into the conference room for a product presentation. But when push came to shove, reading from his prepared script made Richard feel incredibly awkward. So he decided to wing it instead. He held up a spicy Cheeto and talked about how amazing it tasted. But when the executives asked about projected market share, Richard had no clue what that even meant. So he started gesturing about the length of products on supermarket shelves.
This much market share.
This move had the other executives barely containing their laughter. But then Richard used the most down-to-earth language to explain how everyday people absolutely loved spicy flavors. Roger actually stood up and mimicked Richard's sweeping arm gestures, completely ignoring the plant manager's data, and decided to invest in the proposal. However, when spicy Cheetos hit production, they didn't create the expected buzz. Instead, they became shelf warmers at the supermarket. the plant manager decided to stop production of this flavor, which crushed Richard's spirit. He started spiraling, convinced he was just some nobody from the bottom rungs of society who couldn't make waves. His co-worker Baker thought he was being way too hard on himself.
Embarrassment's never stopped you before? Ask questions. You wore my ass out with them. Look here, the person I met 10 years ago wouldn't blink. He'd find a way, any way to get it done. I don't want to look you up in 20 years from now, just to find out you're still down here on the bottom. Step up.
That night, Richard couldn't sleep. Talking with his family, he realized the factory hadn't done any advertising for the spicy Cheetos at all. Seeing his dad looking so worried, his eldest son contributed his entire allowance to help pay for advertising. That's when it hit Richard. He reached out to his old gang buddies and hired them for guerrilla marketing. Richard went back to the factory and pumped everyone up about the spicy Cheetos. When someone tried to shut him down, Baker cut them off. Everyone knew the spicy Cheetos weren't failing because of taste. They just needed better promotion to catch on. So Richard decided to load up all the factory's spicy Cheeto inventory onto trucks outside. Then his smooth-talking gang friends started giving them away for free on street corners. Richard and his family went straight to the supermarket and bought up every single spicy Cheeto on the shelves. When curious customers looked over, Richard seized the moment to pitch this amazing snack. Customers were instantly hooked and started buying. Soon the whole city was going crazy for spicy Cheetos. When the quarterly sales report landed on Roger's desk, he was curious how much money the plant manager had invested in marketing. When he found out the plant manager hadn't spent a single dollar due to his prejudice against the janitor, Roger started taking the spicy Cheeto market seriously. He decided to place an order for 5 million units at the factory.